we go. Here we go. Another episode of Bench with the great Coach Dave Miller. What's going on, baby?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Sunday morning.
Oh, man, I don't know about happy, but it's a Sunday morning. Let's get right into it. Lakers blown out by 20. How do you feel about that?
Well, let's start as a coach.
By 20.
Yeah, let's start as a coach. There's some things that are non-negotiable.
Okay.
At any level of basketball.
Okay.
And it's EFT. It's energy, focus, and toughness. And I saw none of it. And, you're going to have, in an 82-game season, you're always going to have a game or two if you're good. Some teams have a bunch. But good teams, you'll have a game here or there, and you just throw it. You don't look at the tape. Yeah, we always say throw the tape down out the plane window or on the team bus. But this was different for me. The Lakers they had the best win of the season. They beat the San Antonio Spurs that we talked about in episode 1. Yep. And I'm singing them high praises. Yeah. They have 2 days off, Alan. They have 2 days off. Now, I know they went to hot Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play.
Strikes again.
Yeah. Where the parties don't, stop till 8 in the morning. Yeah. That party went on for 2 days, I guess. But you got Lakers have 2 days off. Atlanta. They're the second night of a back-to-back, and this is the kicker. This is what would drive me, you, JJ Redick, and the coaching staff crazy.
JJ was pissed.
Yeah, but they were missing 4 of their top 5 and their 4 leading scorers, the Atlanta Hawks.
They had 8 players on the bench.
Yeah, and so, that's the problem that I have is that 2 days of rest. It looked like the Lakers played back to back to back to back to back.
I'll say we got the Lakers. We got our dub in the club. It's all right. We got our dub in the club. That's exactly what it was. It was Atlanta ATL strikes again. We got there Thursday. We played on Saturday. We went up on Friday. The W was on Friday. That's what I saw. When I saw JJ in the post game interview say, I saw nothing in the first 2 minutes. I was like, oh, yeah, they was in the club.
Well, let me ask you this. You saw it. I hope you didn't blink because that's how quick it was. He was in and out. And, I talked about his arrogance in a good way. I like that he approaches that. As you get to know me, I can't stand coaches that when they're asked a question and they say, well, I'm going to have to take a look at the tape.
Right.
Hell, you just coached the game.
You was just there.
It's not like we're watching the game and you might walk into the kitchen. You might walk into the living room or do a honeydew thing on the list. You're watching the game. So I liked his accountability, and I like the way he holds his players accountable.
Yeah, no, I think that's because he was a player as well. So I'm sure he's witnessed Atlanta before, and not to say it out loud in front of the post interview, but I'm sure he's like that Friday killed us. Like we had no energy. We had no energy for a team filled with players that never get to play. And that's sort of the slippery slope when you play against guys, especially their home, they're Atlanta. Again, in Atlanta, these guys don't get too many minutes. So they about to show out for all the ladies in the front row. It went up last night in Atlanta for all those guys that got some minutes and really showed that they have some talent. And that just goes to show that everybody in the NBA can hoop.
That's a good point. Everybody always thinks, Brian Scalabrine that I coached at USC, had a great NBA career. Now he's with the Celtics, as a broadcaster. Yeah. He would love it. People wouldn't think he could play. On any given day, he could be out all night and he's going to beat you. You're not going to score on him.
Right.
But that Atlanta team, that was like a G League team, and not disrespect to the players in Atlanta that played.
Correct.
Because in the NBA, all you need is minutes.
Yep.
There's a reason you're in the NBA. Everybody thinks they can be in the NBA. Those are the best players in the world.
In the world. And if they saw you in LA Fitness, they destroying you. So,
Wait a second. You go to LA Fitness?
I used to. I was getting into me fights. But it's all right. It's all right. I retired.
Because I heard those runs were tough.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it get crazy out there. So shout out to all the guys at LA Fitness. But that's what that was. People and everybody in the NBA can hoop, and that was showcased last night. And the fact that what it looked like in those first 2 minutes that the guys had a good time in Atlanta, and that's it wasn't on the court.
Well, that was obvious by the energy defensively, because what we talked about is how good this team was. I think I used the word connected or connectivity.
Correct. Yeah.
And they weren't connected. I mean, when you look, they had 20 turnovers. And again, I get a miscue here and a miscue there. They had 20 turnovers. So now you compound the problem. After you turn it over 20 times, that gave Atlanta 36
points.
Points off turnovers.
Yes.
And it's just, again, it's hard to win.
They had 62 points in the paint. 62. They had I think they were at 60 at the half. Like
67. They scored 67 points at the half.
JJ said it the best when he said the first 2 minutes I saw nothing. He was ready to go home at the beginning of the first. He was ready to go. So it was apparent that they let this one go. They fell. This was like a trap game, and they fell for the trap.
I'm not going to talk about the trap right now because I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts on the trap. We'll leave that for the end.
Shout out to T.I. Straight up.
No, that's exactly what the Hawks did. They did. You can do whatever you like. And can I get a pickle with that sandwich? I love that video.
Oh man. So okay, let's talk about what are some of the bright spots outside of sort of them being blown out. I did see Jake is playing. I love his game.
I got to get you to get his name. It's LaRavia.
LaRavia. Yeah. Jake LaRavia.
Because you're a fan of Jake.
I am, man. And I like his game. Like I said, in the minutes that he's out there, although it was in a blowout, he showed some stuff being in the starting lineup. I think he's going to be a great addition this season.
He is a great addition, and I like that he took ownership where he said, and it's true, the 5 guys that go out on the floor have to set the tone.
Yep.
Right? We talked about being happy for the success of others.
Yep.
And when I recruited high school players, for those 2 decades, I watched you on the court, but I watched you on the bench. Okay, there's a lot to be said when you're given a scholarship. So as you see, we're sitting back, we're enjoying our podcast. When I recruited players in high school, I knew they could play. I didn't go window shopping. Right. I wasn't on Rodeo Drive looking in the window. Okay, I went to a school to see a particular player.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't like the particular player I went to see. And actually, that's how I found Brian Scalabrine, speaking of him. Wow. I went to Seattle, went to his junior college, went to watch a guard, and he was a good guard. But I could get a guard like him anywhere in L.A.
Right.
And I'm watching this dude, this redheaded dude, and I called Henry Bibby by halftime, and I said, this cat can play.
Yeah.
But back to recruiting. I watched when you sat on the bench. Were you on the edge of your seat? Were you watching the game?
Right.
Were you figuring out what you would do when you got in? And so a guy like Jake, I just think he does all the right things on the bench. He took accountability for saying, I was in the starting 5. We did not set the tone. Yep. And he really impresses me. I mean, we talked about Marcus Smart bringing that pit bull mentality and bringing a toughness. I think Jake, at a different level, in a different way, brings a toughness, brings attention to detail.
Yes.
I really liked him. The player that I thought played well and he needed to was Vando.
Yeah,
I want to say, again, we don't have stat sheets here, but I think he had 12 points, and I know he had 18 rebounds.
Yeah.
So he
had energy.
He came out with some EFT, and he needed to.
Yeah.
Because he's trying, as you said, next man up theory, we talked about that before we came on set. The next man theory, you come up, when you get your chance, you got to do right if you want to get into the rotation and you want to increase your minutes. So I thought he really took advantage of the situation, and it was good to see him get a double-double.
Yeah, I like what I saw from Dalton Knecht as well. He had some good minutes out there. I think he had about 14. That's what I took out of this, being that they was there 2 days prior. This was one of those games that on the 82-game schedule that you're going to let go. I thought the bench got some good minutes. I seen Bronny had a nice little lay in there. He had a couple of threes, I believe. And I think this is good for it was a good opportunity for the bench to get in there and get some minutes. And that's that was the positive that I got, because just like JJ at the beginning of the game, I'm like, okay, We on to the next.
Yeah. And what I did like is that you're starting a road trip, 2 days rest.
Yes.
You know, you get in there, and there's a reason you go for 2 days, just to get off your feet, to get your energy level up, to relax, and to start this road trip. Because again, now that was one. Remember, I said they would split actually the Hawks and the Bucks. You got to beat the Pelicans, right?
Yes,
You got to beat. You got to beat the Pelicans. You got to beat the Hornets.
Yep.
I can't wait until they play OKC on Wednesday. I know who you got.
I got a feeling.
I know who you got.
I got the feeling.
Yeah. Who sings that song? The Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah.
Well, I got a feeling you're going to be buying dinner after that next podcast.
Then we're on that.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Shake it.
Yeah.
OKC.
Yeah.
Lakers for the win.
Yeah.
I got it. I can feel it. It's going to be all right. Don't let me down, y'all. Don't let me down. Because I'm going to pick an expensive place.
I have Sizzler coupons. Buy one, get one free.
Hey. I'm here for it. The
No.
salad bar goes. Don't do me like that. I'm good.
No. I'm taking you to Catch on Melrose.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We're going. It's a high-end deal.
Let's go. So what about what I saw last night? They had, again, back to the turnovers. Like, what do you think that is? Like, why from a coach's perspective, why do you think it was so many turnovers and so many allowed points in the paint?
Well, both of them compound each other. Lackadaisical, right? Mm-hmm. It takes two to make a turnover. One guy's going to get the turnover.
Correct.
Okay, but you have to. I always teach this. Palms to the passer, right? I don't care. You know, I had a Hall of Fame coach tell me when I got hired my first year in the NBA.
Yeah.
I said, man, I've coached college, for 20 years. What do I do as an NBA coach? Because I'm thinking I'm going to be coaching David West, who pick and pop from that left elbow.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to draft Chris Paul at the time, but you get Chris Paul, who I just absolutely loved. And again, Peja Stojakovic, list goes on. How do you coach these guys that are at this level and played at this level? Because I didn't play at that level. He says you coach them like they're middle school basketball players. And it took me back. And I said, what do you mean, coach? And he said, the same fundamentals you teach at your camps in the summertime are the same fundamentals that you're going to have to teach here.
Wow.
It's all about footwork. It's all, passing. Palms to the passer, target hands. You can't throw a pass unless, like we're doing right now, we have eye contact. And some of those, you pass away from the defense.
Yeah.
If you're being guarded and the defender is topside denying, you got to pass to the outside hand.
Yeah.
And it's just not going game speed.
Yeah.
Right? All this stuff about rust. There is you can either play the piano at 7 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and you can do it at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center, or you can do it at Carnegie Hall.
Right.
If you want to tell me cardio, like a guy's hurt and he's not playing, when every day you sit out and you don't condition, and you know this because you're a great runner and do marathons, you lose so much of your cardio.
Yes, you do.
So you can tell me you're not strong, you're a little bit weak, your cardio's there, but rust?
Yeah.
Rust when they talk about shooting, rust when they talk about execution, that's a bunch of crap.
And I kept hearing from several players, it was like, this team likes to cut a lot. Like, from a coach perspective, like, what do you think, why was that giving them so much trouble last night, where I'm sure a lot of teams cut, but I just heard of several players like, this is a cutting team. It was just backdoor cuts.
What it tells you is that the coaching staff was on point by telling them that, because a player wouldn't know that.
Copy that.
Don't get me wrong. Chris Paul would know that. LeBron James would know that. Like students of the game.
Right.
Like they're players that you don't have to give them a scouting report because their life is basketball, and that's why they've gone from the rookie contract to the second contract to the third contract. The coaches made an emphasis. There's points of emphasis. You can't cover everything. So what gave them problem, all teams, and we talked about this in the first episode, the hardest offense to guard is movement.
Yeah.
If you're running flex offense, pass, screen down, cross screen, everybody knows how to defend flex. Then you got to take what the defense gives you. But motion movement with a purpose, and everybody thinks it's just run and gun. All NBA teams have transition push.
Yep.
Then no go. It depends what side of the floor they're on to get into their secondary. And for the longest time, and teams are starting to go away from this, Alan, all offenses usually started with a pick and roll, and then at the end of the shot clock, ended with a pick and roll until you're down to 2 or 3 seconds. And a star is always going to get rid of that hot potato and get it to you, so your shot percentage goes down because they don't want to miss it.
They're throwing you the grenade, baby.
But it was the defense was so porous. That's what they were talking about, the back cuts. Everyone talked about it was when Phil Jackson was winning all the championships in Chicago and with the Lakers.
Right.
Everyone talked about what offense?
The triangle.
The triangle.
Right.
Okay. Nobody ever talks about defense and the defensive flat triangle. And it sort of goes with what I told you about defensive pistol stance.
Yeah.
If you're my man and I was a little bit over here not sitting, I have to see you, but I have to see the ball on the other wing.
Copy that.
So if I'm up too high, I can't see you. So it's peripheral vision. So I'm going to move back until I can see you with the ball, or I'm sorry, you without the ball and the ball over there, because the most important person is that guy. Now, I can't get above you because you're going to back cut me. So it starts out with defensive position.
Yeah.
It starts out with being on the balls of your feet and being proactive. The Lakers, I said, porous was an adjective I used before.
Yep.
They were also reactive. That was one of the biggest things I noticed in that game last night. And in the first couple minutes of the game, they reacted as opposed to being proactive, that when you went to make a cut, I meet you with my forearm and I stand you up. And there is a rule. You can't impede progress of a player. No ref is calling that unless it becomes an MMA battle. But that's what this forearm is for. When you start to cut, I go from the pistol stance.
Okay.
I go right here and I arm bar you right across your chest. Then it's man versus man.
Right.
Literally. And I just didn't see that, and there's a not being ready to play.
Yeah.
There's a lack of energy. There's a lack of focus on the scouting report. I don't know which assistant gave the scout, but most NBA teams, okay, this is how they break it down.
Okay.
And now maybe a little different because there's so many assistants behind the bench and they want to spread the wealth. But when I was in the league, there was the head coach, which was Byron Scott, and there were 3 assistants. So the top assistant got 9 teams for his scouts.
Gotcha.
So, and it was teams you're familiar with. And then Kenny Gaddison and myself got 10 teams because you don't scout yourself. So I had 10 teams. I had to know those 10 teams better than I knew our team.
Wow.
And my whole life revolved on watching my 10 teams. And if it's not your scout, you're going to meet when the coaches meet. And let's say it's your scout. And you're talking to JJ. I don't have anything to say when we meet before we go into the huddle. He's going to ask you, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And he's got his board out here and he's thinking, and you're talking. Now, as JJ might be going back, I'm going to say, man, we need to do a better job and do our work early. We're getting killed on the offensive glass. Hit that, coach. And he may or may not say it. But for the players to know about back cuts and we were getting beat, they just weren't mentally prepared. You can only give the information. The player has to digest it, and then they have to execute it. And we saw none of that. I mean, summed up, no energy, no focus, no toughness.
Okay, so from a coach perspective, like, what do you say to your team after a loss like this? Like, again, it's 82, it's long, and they've been playing well. And I'm sure JJ said a lot from the way he walked off that podium. From your perspective, from a coach, what would you say to the team after a loss
it's
like
two
that?
things. You have to know your locker room because there's 2 answers to that. You can light them up, or you could act like you're in a boardroom.
What have you seen? Where have you seen success? As far as
different. It's your team.
Okay.
It's how do they respond.
Okay.
It's because you never want to lose your locker room, and that's not a lose your locker room game.
Right.
But what I like about JJ is he's direct. And I think the players, we talked about this episode 1, I think they respect him. They respect him because he played in the league.
Right.
He was a guy that, I don't want to say he should have been in the league, but he certainly exceeded expectations.
Yes.
And with his longevity of being in the league and what he could do, he could shoot. He would come to practice. Again, never been with him, but I equate him to TJ McConnell.
Gotcha.
You go to practice every day, and you're a professional. You do your job. When your number is called, man, JJ was in there to make buckets.
Yes, he was.
JJ was in there to be like Reggie Miller, like where it's the Energizer Bunny, man. You're just moving.
Oh, yeah.
You're coming off screens. You're knowing how to read screens. You know, again, a lot of it comes from his pedigree and being under Coach K. You know, I don't know who his high school coach was,
right?
But he was very well versed. So again, not being in there, I can't guess because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But I've had coaches that would just rip them. I have coaches that would just walk in there and just look at the stat sheet, ball it up and throw it down and walk out.
Right.
You know, breaking clipboards. I mean, I've never been in a locker room with Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's going to talk a lot. And, you know that voice. Dwight Howard does a great impression of him, but I would think he's going to go on and on and on till the break of dawn.
So I guess that's a funny question. Has there been any funny sort of reactions after, like, something like as you mentioned that, like after a bad game and you had this speech? Is there any what's like the most random or
hilarious thing?
Yeah, like what's the most hilarious moment that happened after a game like this? like after a game like this.
I can't tell two of them. Until we get a sponsor.
Yeah.
When we get a sponsor, this goes up another level.
Baby. Yeah.
I can't, and I won't mention the player's name, but he just got. You remember how I told you DeAndre Ayton killed Wemby in that matchup?
Yes, he did.
Unbelievable. So here was the night where it was a 5-5 matchup, 5-on-5, post versus post, and the opposing post just killed us. So Coach got on our center, our 5-man, and he's like, "How could you let him score with his, I don't know, over his left shoulder?" And he goes, "You told me he was amphibious." And he really meant ambidextrous. And the whole locker room cracked up. He's like, amphibious?
What I'm supposed to do? Because he out there with moving amphibious. What I'm supposed to do? That's crazy.
And I think 11 other guys started thinking of Aquaman, or Vinny Chase.
He's amphibious with the left and the right. What I'm supposed to do, Coach?
Hey, God bless the player. God bless the player. He meant ambidextrous.
Yeah, amphibious. I mean, he was reptilian out there. Like you don't know what he was going up against. But you went like that. It was crazy out there for him. I can see why
it was much needed, and it just everyone laughed. Everybody came in 1, 2, 3, team, and then on to the on to the next.
So with that being said, on to the next. Like, what do you think is preparing for the next game, preparing for the Bucks? What do you think is the mindset? What do you think should be on everybody's mind for the next game?
Well, you watch the film, that the problem I have with all the pundits that are on TV and that are on radio, just throw that game out. Right. There's no coach that does that. There's no coach that does
every game counts.
There's no, you get hired to be fired. Every game, the paranoia is real. Yeah. And I love JJ Redick's paranoia. And it's the same like Spo has in Miami. That's what makes it's the same paranoia that Mark Daigneault in Oklahoma City has. Yeah. The first thing you have to do, you have to get back to the players. And again, OKC, I think, does as good a job of this as anybody as a team. But it starts with your coaches. It may even start with your GM, Presti, and your ownership, is that they never take a game off. Of all the games I watch Oklahoma City, they don't lose much, and they won the championship. Right. They approach every game like it's an NBA Finals. And I know people like, the Hawks, they're missing their 4 best players, their 4 leading scorers. How do you do that? That's a culture. That's a culture of being a professional. That's a culture that it doesn't matter who we're playing, okay? We're going to get better. Right. You do 3 things every day in life, Alan. You have a chance to do 3 things.
Come on, talk to me.
Regardless of your profession. You can get better, you can stay the same, or you can get worse. And 2 of the 3 aren't worth a damn. So is your job is to every day as an individual, as a player, is to get better that much. As a coaching staff, your job is to get your team just a little bit better every practice. And so this team has to understand that every game, because this game, we can say, let's throw it out the window.
Right.
But at the end of the year, when you miss the play-in game, or you're not, let's say they have a great year, and we're hoping that they do. We're going to cover them.
Yeah.
That could be the difference of having home court advantage. So I said this all the time as an assistant. If that was my first game, first scout of the year. This game is just as important as the one we're going to play.
I mean, the West was tight last year. I think from the 3 to the 6 seed, it was like a 2-game separation. So these games matter. And so I guess in the championship mindset, it's always the rule is never lose 2 games in a row.
Right.
I think
just like a shooter. If you're an NBA shooter,
Yep.
you shouldn't miss 2 shots in a row if they're good shots.
So, I think that's the mentality that they need to go into. And it's not losing 2 games in a row. If they come out of this road trip, with that same mentality, I think we'll be fine. And just, I guess for me, in watching this team and watching sort of the potential that we have, I lend sort of this sort of message to Luka. I think this decade is up in the air on whose decade it is. This is Luka's opportunity for the next 5 years to run, for it to be his league. And he has the team, and with the although we got blown by 20 last night, I feel we have a championship core that with that mindset, this could be your decade, Luka. This could be your decade, and these games count. And being able to instill that in all of the guys. And again, we only talking this way just because they got lost last night. We were high praises when they were 7-2. Yeah. They were number 1 in charges and all of it's that mentality and that sort of focus and that opportunity that he has that I really, really want him to take that mindset. This could be your decade. Yeah. So, and you got the horses and you got the franchise, you got the new ownership. Let's go. Let's not lose 2 games in a row, because that's not what champions do.
Yeah. And they are going to lose. And I'm not talking about this group. They are going to lose 2 games in a row. And, Oklahoma City doesn't usually lose 2 in a row. But so let me put on my my purple and gold sunglasses.
Okay.
Do you remember on Venice Beach, because you like to go run there and you like to, I've seen you paint there.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy that used to wear, was it the blue blocker sunglasses, and he had the machine and he would make up raps while he
yeah.
What was his name?
I don't know. It's a bunch of characters.
But there was a guy, he was big.
Oh, and he had I think he was dancing. He was pop locking.
But anyway,
I can't remember his name though.
Yeah. He I used to just love his energy, and every time I would go there, and I'd like to walk, and I'd come over from Manhattan Beach just for a change of scenery, and he always had that energy.
Yeah.
And one day I said to him, I mean, how can you have this energy and deal with people like this and put smiles? He says, it's my job. So with Luka, it's his job. Right? That's his job. But as a fan, I like to ask you, because again, I think you're a super fan of the NBA. So if I told you every 10 games that the Lakers were going to be 7-3, and I'm not a mathematician, would you take that right now? Would you sign a contract? Every 10 games, a block of 10.
Yeah, give me that.
They lose. They're 7-3.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, so we're good there. I'd sign it right. I'd sign it right now. The problem that we have is that everything we talked about going into this that run, they were shooting the best field goal percentage in the NBA, and they were 4th in points in the paint. And you talked about points in the paint there. So
62.
It's consistency. And they need pieces.
Yeah.
They still need lockdown wing defenders. They still need a shooter. Okay? They need a couple shooters. And that's going to take them to the next level. But we talked about we don't know how long, we don't know when LeBron is coming back to play. And they need LeBron.
Yes, they do.
Okay? But we don't know how long LeBron will be in L.A.
Correct.
But the torch is going to be passed. It might right now without being said, because LeBron understands to win, he's going to do his thing, man. He's one of the greatest players to ever play in this league. But right now, it's Luka's time. It's Luka's time to shine. It's Austin Reeves' time to shine. Like you said, he's averaging a quiet 30. You know, before haven't looked at stat sheets.
I think it's like a 9-4 or something.
Yeah.
31, 9-4 or something like that.
So that's the problem that the Lakers have right now, is that they need more pieces. They need lockdown defenders. They need, I like DeAndre Ayton coming in. Average, what was he, 2 rebounds shy of a double-double going into that game. But they need more pieces. But you're exactly right about them being able, for Luka, this is his time.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, like I said, as talented as anybody in the league, and he's a Robin. Yeah. He's a Robin.
Yeah.
Luka is an alpha dog killer.
Oh, yes, he is.
Just like LeBron.
Yes, he is.
And people are going to be attracted to him. And they're going to want to play with him.
Yeah.
And I think the future is bright. But to go into this next game, you talk about the championship mentality. Yeah. They have to watch the tape. That's why I said, forget the tape. No. That tape was broken down before they got out of the arena.
Right.
Synergy. You could have your film guy have every pick and roll defensive possession. You could have transition defense. There's no coaching in transition defense.
Yeah.
You hope that the shot, it's a missed shot, or it's a turnover and you can run. Because the best offense in the NBA is the push game. Right. No go, we talked about getting into your secondary. But you got to break that down. You got to break down.
So my question is, so how would you slow down Giannis? With the team we have now, what would be
the same way that they defended Wemby? There's got to be a physicality, which was an A+. Yeah. There was no physicality in Atlanta, right?
No. We won on Friday though. We won. The dub was in the club, baby. We won on Friday. We all right.
You for the first time in this new friendship, you didn't text me on Friday and Saturday. Were you happen to be in Atlanta?
I got the dub in the club. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I know what happens. What happens in Atlanta stays in Atlanta. I think you were there. You all great players, whether they're bigs, whether they're small, you can never guard somebody with the steady diet of the same thing. You have to change up your coverage. So with bigs, I always say meet and greet, right? Even in transition. Again, it comes with this forearm. When you're running down the floor and we're converting, first of all, you got to sprint back. Now, offensively, it's the first 3 steps, because you can usually beat the defenders. So if I'm Giannis, my first 3 steps are going to determine if I'm going to get a rim run at the other end of the floor. But again, good defensive teams, on conversion, you don't start to go until you secure the ball. You can't run unless you rebound, right? Pat Riley. Okay? So now, when Giannis crosses half court, between half court and the top of the key, okay, you're meeting him with a forearm. And I don't care if you're small. Right. You watch what they did to Wemby, man. Yeah. Marcus Smart could have guarded Wemby. Now they're going to go over top. I get that. You're just going to, if he's fronting him, you're just going to seal him. It's easy peasy. But Dalton Knecht was on him. They had great physicality. Yeah. So it starts with physicality. You meet and you greet, and you do not let him get 2 feet in the paint. If that, and it's going to happen, right? You're not going to keep him out of the paint. Once he gets into the paint, man, post players want pressure. They want to feel you, because then you release pressure. You read the defense, right? Yeah. Top side, boom. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to ball fake. Middle, I'm gonna, and you're gonna, the defense has got to react, or you go heel toe hook. Okay, once you ball fake, you got the defense leaning. Now you drop step. If he's on the baseline side, you're gonna catch it. You always look middle when you catch the ball in the post, because you can see the piece of the pizza. You never want to look to the outside where the pass came from the wing, because now your sliver of pizza got this slow. So when I catch the ball here, okay, and the basket is over there, I'm gonna chin it. I'm gonna bring out my chicken wings, no pun intended, because you had wings at
Come on.
Magic City. I said the Magic Land. And now you're seeing the court. Yeah. So you have to guard him, but you don't want him to feel you. You want to be off him a little bit. Yeah. Once he gets into the paint, you want to take that armbar off just a little. You've heard of pulling the chair, right? As I'm dribble, drop step. Yeah. Sometimes you pull the chair. But that's how you stop any post player, whether he's elite, like Giannis, who's going to be in the MVP conversation if his team plays well, whether it's Wemby. you just have to mix up your coverages. And then the third thing about guarding a great post player is you can do all you want in the post, but whoever is guarding the ball on the wing or when the swing, okay, you have to have active hands. You have to trace the basketball.
Right.
You have to take away vision, right? You got to make the offensive player with the ball, Giannis's teammate, try and fake a pass to make a pass.
Gotcha.
And that takes a lot of energy.
Got you.
You know, when you see a closeout, you're closing out to take away the shot.
Copy.
But you also have to be an arm distance away to cushion the drive.
Right.
Because in this day and age, man, the offensive player is so good.
Right.
Like, you can't stop these guys.
No.
You really can't. You can blitz them.
Yeah.
You can make them give it up.
You try to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah, you're just trying to slow them down and not, if a guy's averaging 25, keep him at 25.
Right.
But you can't let him get 30, 35. And then the worst part when it's a guard, you can't let him get 30 points and 11 assists.
Yes.
Because now he is monopolizing that game, and that hole keeps getting deeper and deeper.
Right. Okay, for the next game, I guess, who do you think is going to be a key piece for the Lakers?
Everybody.
Everybody.
You know, the best coaches that I was with in the NBA in college always kept the players on edge. And that's hard to do. It's hard to coach every play in a game, and usually when you take over either a franchise in the NBA or a college program, you have to start from scratch because you're trying to implement your culture.
Right.
And coaching every single play. That's why when you have good teams, they police themselves in the locker room, and on the floor, you have a leader, usually the point guard. I mean, the perfect blueprint, the perfect ingredients. But everybody, they've got to come out there, and he's got to keep them on edge. Again, long season.
So okay, another question as far as in your coaching experience, what was something that you did or something that you would do or in your practice with players to keep them, like you said, keep them on the edge, keep them. And what do you mean by edge? Like, do you want them to be just on eggshells or just on
Not
edge?
eggshells. I want to be a pit bull that's in my junkyard.
So I guess what was something that you have done as far as in your your tactics as a coach to do that?
Competitive drills.
Okay.
Losers run. Competitive drills. I call it King of the Hill.
Okay.
When I work with the guards.
Yeah.
You got the ball,
Yeah.
okay? I hand it to you, and here's the great thing.
Yeah.
You get 3 dribbles. High school kids hate when I would do these at the All-American camp. 3 dribbles.
Yeah.
If you can't get your shit on in 3 dribbles, give it up.
Right.
Pass and cut. All these guys that want to pound the leather off the basketball, you get 3 dribbles, okay?
Yeah.
And if you score, you get to stay king of the hill.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be an offensive-defensive drill.
Yeah.
Do you want to play defense?
Oh yeah, no. Give me the ball.
Yeah, right.
Give me the ball.
You're going to try and score on every single one, and it gets competitive. If I foul you, bucket. Next, I go to the end of the line. Next one comes up. Running drills. Drills in the sense like when you lose something, it becomes competitive. The best teams that I've been with, everything was competitive. And guys are fighting for time.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what I said first episode. The great teams, people are happy for the success of others. I want to kill you in practice. I want you to be thinking about me on the way home. You're going to have a scratch on your bicep.
Yeah.
I may scratch your damn face. That's your moneymaker. I won't scratch your face. But then when we get to the game, man, I got to be your biggest cheerleader.
Correct.
And that doesn't happen in the world. Doesn't happen in the world. Doesn't happen any profession. Oh, you can name me one profession. Very few people are happy for the success of others. And when you get on a team like that, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's family, man, then that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think you saying that story reminds me of just sort of how connected that Cavs team was and how excited the bench was. Like, I mean, any championship team, you can look at the bench and kind of see a reflection of the culture and seeing who's excited for their teammates, who's cheering, and then you got those guys that's ain't paying attention, just looking in the stands, that's chuckling when their own teammates get dunked. Like, it's all of those things. You see the culture. So I think that's a great note as far as keeping that competitive nature and the edge between the players, but also keeping it like a brotherhood. Yeah, we may fight against each other, but if you try to fight my brother, it's me against you. So I think that's great.
It's people don't understand the amount of time that with travel, especially the NBA. College is the same, because if you had a son and he was at a university that I was coaching at, you've entrusted us with your son.
Correct.
Academically, athletically, socially, safe, health when he's not feeling good.
Yeah.
So it's a full-time deal, but you spend more time with your team than you do with your wife and kids or your girlfriend, or or it could just be your buddies.
Right.
That is your family, and everybody has to be on the same page. When you think of great culture, Pat Riley started it with the Showtime Lakers. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I've never, ever met a group, the Showtime Lakers, that are still connected. That's still the brotherhood, like they talk about Duke, like when you talk college.
Yeah.
I would say Duke, okay, with the brotherhood that they have of taking care of each other. But the Showtime Lakers are so connected, you'd still think that they're playing on a team.
Right.
If you see Byron out, just look not too far and you're going to see Big Game James. Right. You look over to this side, Michael Cooper's going to be there. AC Green. Magic, has so many things going on, as a businessman, and, what he's doing for the world, and all the teams he owns. Yeah. He's got so many rings. I don't see him a lot, but when it's a big event,
he did.
Magic's there.
You
see Kareem, you see all these guys, and that's what's so great about sports.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a family, and then all the fans, they think they're part of the family.
Of course.
But what fans don't know, and I can only relate to being around the Showtime Lakers a lot, is that they think the fans are family. After all these years.
That's beautiful.
After all these years, man.
That's beautiful.
And, it's like, I really can't think of any time I've been with any one of them or a group of them where they haven't, when they've been approached for an autograph or a picture, and they say no.
That's beautiful.
Don't get me wrong. They're getting into a car, and then there's of course 100 people running up. Because the problem is that NBA players will sign an autograph or two, and there's 50 people waiting there.
Right.
And then, so let's just say two get the autograph, and 48 are disappointed, and they're mad.
Right.
Like when Shaq would leave the old practice facility in El Segundo, I think it was on Nash Street.
Yeah.
And Shaq didn't have something to do. Yeah. Shaq would sign autographs for 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, well, that sounds
that's
like
Shaq.
That sounds like Shaq.
Not all NBA players will do that. They'll sign a couple. But Shaq always made time, and I'm guessing still does.
Oh, no, I've met Shaq at when I was doing the last OG for TNT. There was up front, so I got to sit next to him. Really cool dude. We just was cracking jokes the whole time. It's insane that he's that big of a man, but that has a bigger heart than his actual size. So
Well, I watched him play. I was an assistant at the University of Texas, and he was at Cole High School in San Antonio, and he's the same person that he was when he was in high school.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know all his kids. I know Sharif pretty well. Sharif is just like his father, man. They're just good people. I always say, I can be around a kid, any kid. Yeah. And in a couple days after being around them, I can tell what their parents are like, and I've never met their parents.
Wow.
And, Sharif is just like his dad, man. Just funny, easygoing, happy for the success of others. And he's going to be real successful too.
All right, so we're going to go into our bench segment. So, Coach, who would you like to bench this episode?
Well, I'm not going to name names because it's in the media, but I have a problem with the media saying it's a trap game. It's not a damn trap game. If the guy on a pregame show is saying that it's a trap game, do you not think the players don't know it's a trap game? I think this is a trap game. Wait a second. This isn't the secret to success. We haven't solved world hunger. How can you go to a game and know it's a trap game? Okay, their 4 best players are out. This is a trap game. We're probably not going to play well. How about saying the Lakers should have known that this isn't a trap game. This should have been an easy win. They should have beat Atlanta by 30.
Yes.
So all this trap game, and then I'm listening on the radio, and I hear someone talking about it's a scheduled loss. A scheduled loss? What about if you're going in to have heart surgery and the doctor just happened to say, I've done 11 operations this week. This one is a scheduled loss.
Yeah, usually on my 12th one, I lose a patient.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Benched and fined. You know, we have to have a segment as this goes on. By the way, are we up
Bench,
to a
fine, sent to the G League?
Hey, you have no idea in the NBA about getting fined. There's been head coaches that they're in a timeout and they draw up a play.
Yeah.
If a player doesn't set the screen or maybe even V-cut to get an angle to set the screen, the trainer has a little book.
Oh, wow.
And they write it down. And some coaches would fine you $500 for not executing the play.
Your per diem gone.
Well, the per diem it's still not that good, but that's money out of your pocket.
Right.
And you know whether you're making $42 million a year or you're making $400,000. I don't want to give you no money. So
I'm gonna need that.
That's my bench.
Okay.
Stop with it's a trap game. Because if you know it's a trap game, the players better know it's a trap game.
Yeah.
Or it's a scheduled loss. Because if it's a scheduled loss, let us all know. We won't buy tickets. We won't go to the arena. Parking is $100 on the valet section.
Right.
If it's a scheduled loss, I'm going out to dinner.
Yeah. No, I could listen. Like I said, we got our dub in the club. We won on Friday. We just didn't go back to back.
Okay. Your bench. Now I want to hear who you're going to bench.
My bench. I'm gonna go away from the Lakers. I have to bench Josh Giddey's right ankle. That crossover from DeAndre Hunter yesterday. Now, his left ankle was still in rotation, but the right one, it needed a breather. It needed a breather. It was a sniper on the roof. It was the Michael Jackson Thriller hand coming out of the floor. It was bad. I need the right ankle, just the right one, benched. It need 5 minutes. It needs some milk. He need to relax. That was a shout out to DeAndre Hunter. That crossover was nasty. The slam at the end. That's my bench for today's episode. Josh Giddey is all love, but the right one put some ice on it.
I had no idea that you were going to pick that as your bench.
Listen,
I could have picked 5 other things. You nailed it.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, that one you got to forget that one, Josh. You got to forget that ever existed.
Oh, wait a second. Could that have been just a scheduled mistake?
That's what the right ankle was claiming. This is a scheduled
maybe
break.
The other ankle said that was a trap move.
Yeah, it was a trap break.
All right, get us out of here.
All right, listen, guys, man. Thank you for watching us today. It's another episode of Bench with Alan Maldonado and Coach Dave Miller. Peace, y'all.